Warning. Pro-Tri News is a podcast with different opinions, knowledge, and possibly fake news about triathlon racing. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and some stories may be dramatized for comedic effect. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pro-Tri News. I'm your host, Kyle Glass, joined by Talbot Cox and Pat Lemieux for today's post-race episode from what happened at Lake Placid and what's going to happen coming up. Mark's not with us, but we're going to rip one.
Yeah, this is just going to be a super quick episode. I mean, we're just going to run over Lake Placid, which was an awesome race, the men's race. Women's race has been a little bit of a sleeper, but entertaining being. And then
come from behind win. Come from behind win.
But we'll rip through this, and then we're going to spend next week off, and then we're going to be back at it again the week after that. So, yeah, Pat, how's your weekend?
I am wrapping up my 3-week Midwest vacation. It's not a vacation because I did work the entire time, but we did a week in Milwaukee, and then we did a week in 2 weeks in Minnesota at my parents' lake place. So a fantastic final day here. I've got the lily pad out. I've been slalom skiing. I'm in the process of teaching our au pair to water ski. I've gone for an hour bike ride. You will not hear that I've done any packing for the return trip, which I've got to bag bikes and make shipping labels. So that'll get done at probably 10 p.m. tonight. I'll be scrambling like a madman. And it's been an amazing time to just recharge and come back to the Midwest and get a bunch of lake time in. So super good trip.
There you go.
I've been basically living at Pat's house the last 2 weekends doing photo shoots.
Talbot called me frantic yesterday. I missed a call and I said, "Hey, I'm with George. What's up?" And he texted me and he goes, "I need you to look at your security cameras, and I forgot a black bag on your minivan. I'm pretty sure. Can you check?" And I flick over and they go, "I see the little black bag. Yep, that's there." So between that, I think the other day God knows how many feed athletes were in and out of the house. Doing a photo shoot that he planned. So yeah, my poor neighbors, man, they just never know they must think that I'm Airbnb in that place nonstop, but yeah, far from it.
Not the only thing I borrowed from your house either. I texted Pat. Tell him the story.
Oh, poor Talbot. He'd been working so hard. He got the old swamp butt and found some of George's diaper cream and was like, You got no idea how clutch this is, Pat.
Man, I had the worst. I had the most swamp ass, and I had the worst rash.
You worked your ass off,
cheeks, dude. Yeah, I truly did. I didn't realize how hot. I don't know if it's the hotness or dry. And I'm sitting there telling my wife on the phone. She's like, TMI. And I look over, I see some Desitin diaper cream on the side of Pat's TV, probably for George. And I'm like, oh, I'm borrowing that. I used that whole tube.
Jeez,
Kyle, what'd you do this weekend?
This weekend I went to Shane Gillis on Friday. That was freaking awesome. I love Shane Gillis. I've liked him for a long time, and get to watch him in Oklahoma City was great. And then yesterday tried out a new restaurant here in Oklahoma City. We're turning into quite the culinary destination.
Was it Dickie's Barbecue?
No, it was like a seafood-ish cuisine place. I don't know, but it was really good. It was great.
I don't know, man. Oklahoma's a long way from the ocean. I wouldn't be.
They overnight seafood in for it. It's crazy.
I don't believe that. If I ain't within an hour drive of the ocean, I'm not eating seafood anywhere I go.
That's how I am in Colorado, man. I'm just like,
it's all good.
But I did watch Lake Placid today. I procrastinated a little bit, and then I had a little bit of a headache, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and watch the race. So, super amazing race in upstate New York this weekend. What did you guys think of it? Were you guys like kind of excited, not really excited?
It turned out to be a really, really good race. I mean, if you look at the racing dynamic, how the lead was changing and all that, and if you put in names that you love, I mean, it would have been it's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, from the swim point, started off pretty good group. Christian had a pretty sizable. Christian Hogenhog swim with that front group. They all went to work.
Thomas Gordon, a guy I never heard of before, he let out the swim.
So. Yeah, Thomas let out of the water. they kind of putzered around up at the front. Trevor Foley had a pretty big swim deficit, came out of the water like 6.5 minutes down, and basically just rode a train to the front and picked up everyone who wanted to hop on board the Foley Express all the way to the front. And then towards the end,
Marquardt swam in the front and then cramped to T1. Let's not forget that.
Pretty standard protocol for old Marquardt. And then towards the end, Marquardt sent a flyer off the front, built about a minute lead on Trevor and Christian Hogenhog, and then hit the run and then swapped with Christian Hogenhog. So then Trevor went into the lead. Then Marquardt came back through and then ended up taking the win, which was super, super impressive win on his end. Christian Hogenhog got second. Trevor Foley was able to jog it in after a pretty big implosion around mile 17. And then Jason West was able to sneak into the top 5. And Leon Chevalier, I believe, was 4th.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's crazy. We look at some of these results and how much we talked about just last week when we did the preview show. We said a great result for Jason West, I think I mentioned, would be top 5.
Yeah.
He rode really well and then just ran what he had to do, his first marathon off the bike like this, and got 5th place, a result that I think he could be super proud of. I
would say this is his best result of the season. I mean,
by far. No, I think you're going to see a migration to Ironman completely for him now. We said Leon Chevalier was going to be really tough, was going to be on the bubble of a podium. He was 4th. Okay, there we go. Christian Hogenhog, we presumed, was coming here to get points in lieu of Ironman World Championships. 2nd place. I think he can be super proud of that.
Especially after his 3rd race in 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Trevor Foley, I think Talbot kind of predicted what he had to do to win. I wouldn't say Trevor stuck to that plan, but coming off, he won the race last year. He's had some real tough races this year. So to get a 3rd, I know he won't be happy with that.
Oh no, he's stoked. I talked to him for about 30 minutes after the race.
Okay. There you go. And then Matthew Marquardt, honestly, it shouldn't be a surprise for me, but it is a surprise. I think what's more interesting is I would just love to know what goes on physiologically that he can have these cramps and then still win an Ironman 6.5 hours later. Like that, I don't have an explanation for. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Frankly, to me, it's incredible that he could still persevere and come back from this, because when he comes out of the water, he looks awful. He looks just completely haggard.
Yeah, just like in excruciating pain. And he's able to sit in on the bike and rip the legs off and come first off the bike, and then gave up some time on the run and then ran his way to victory.
Yeah. So, for me, this race, it had a lot of, stuff kind of going on behind the scenes where it's amazing this was an amazing race with a ton of lead changes. We had a lot of, I'll call them, great athletes racing it. I think the issue though is it's 4 weeks too close to Nice. And so the people that featured here, it doesn't set you up perfectly for Nice, I think, is the big fear, right?
Why do you think that is?
I just think it's not enough time to come down from it and then build back up. I mean, we're at July 20th already. And so the race, I would call it a soft 8 weeks, because the race is September 14th. So you're going to need this is going to take 2 or 3 weeks to recover from. And then you're really only going to get 3 or 4 more good weeks back. And then you've got a week down coming into the race. So I just think that timeline is quite truncated for those that are doing it. You look at a guy like, that's not taken away from Marquardt's win. I mean, Matthew Marquardt, besides Christian Blumenfeld, the second most successful Ironman, the Ironman.
Only person who's won 2 Pro Series Ironman races.
So, no, Blumenfeld.
Yeah, him and Blumenfeld are the only 2 that have
won. Right. Are the only 2, right? So, hell of a season.
Yeah.
Really impressive season. I just think the problem is those that are optimizing for Nice never had Placid on their calendar, right? And so this was a bit of a, I'm not going to say asterisk because that's too harsh, but like, I don't think that you'll see those feature in Nice that featured here.
You think it's just the roster of the people that showed up to this race that kind of made it not what kind of your Frankfurts or Texas start lists were?
I don't even think it's the roster. It's that the guys that are competing for that, they've structured their season that they wouldn't show up to this race.
Yeah.
And I'm not in any way hating on the field here. It's just that, like, we've been pretty good recently at predicting pretty good, whether it's time deficits or whatever it is. I mean, we literally said Jason West is going to be 15 minutes down off the bike. Jason West comes in 15 minutes down off the bike. Just little things like that. It's like you're not going to see a lot of these guys feature in the World Championship. Not in a bad way. A lot of these athletes are just developing athletes that will come on down later on. But
no, I think I want to just do one more lap on Matthew Marquardt. He might look at this now because Kyle, we did the points on this. He's leading the Ironman series now.
No, he's second.
Leon's
leading.
All right, so sorry. And then where did Matthew Marquardt finish last year in the series? He fell to 7th on the day.
He fell to 4th, I think.
He fell to 4th. Okay.
Yeah.
So he might be looking at this strategically and going, "Hey, look, I'm gonna pick the races that I'm picking because I'd like to podium on the Ironman Pro Series."
Yeah.
This year. And he might be a little bit more strategic and go, "Here's the way I think I can do it. I'm going to go win Cairns. I'm going to win Lake Placid. And then I'm going to limit my losses at Nice," because he didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, where did he finish at Kona last year? About 15th?
Yes.
But he lost quite a bit of time. So he could go, "Look, I'm going to limit my losses and I think this is just a way for him to go, I think I can finish 2nd or 3rd at the Ironman Pro Series this year." And frankly,
the issue here right now for Marquardt is he's not qualified for Marbella. So that's a big issue right there. As now you think about either doing a 70.3.
Yeah, but whatever.
Oh wait, he's not qualified. He's not going to qualify.
But
period.
whatever. So, but whatever to that, he's won 2 Ironmans this year.
Yeah, and he'll probably have to do ZLMC before Nice now. So that kind of shoots his Pro Series hopes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You finished the year and you've won 2 Ironmans.
You're doing all right, and your sponsors are happy.
Banner year.
Yeah, fantastic for him.
No.
I want to run a lap on Trevor real quick because I think it's really unfortunate he didn't do as good as he was capable of. I would just probably say maturity in racing. I mean, what are you doing with a 6-minute deficit, riding 6 minutes into those guys in 40 miles? Like, why are you biking your brakes off? Like, just steadily have caught those guys. I mean, I would say he could run toe-to-toe with pretty much anyone in that field. Well, sorry, everyone in the field outside of Jason West. And then he hits the run and he goes just blitz ablaze in there too.
I'm going to push back a little bit. I would have said the tactic would be, maybe the tactic in a 12-meter race would be, okay, if you can close it in an hour and change, which he did, amazing, because now you're in the 12-meter and you can just recover for the next 2.5 hours, right? He can draft for 2.5 hours. So that might have been his strategy. But to go out in a 74 for the first half, it was just way too hot.
Yeah.
He's got to run with enough pedigree that if he goes out in an 80 or an 81, he's going to have more in the tank, presumably. And so I think that would have been the discipline around the racing. I think the bike strategy and the way it worked out today, right? I don't want to say the front rode easy, but the front didn't go as deep as they've gone in the past, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had some firepower up there. Robert Callan and Christian Hogenhag are 2 of the best cyclists in the sport.
Yeah, but it was clear that
they were riding very easy. There's some names. There's some wheel surfers sitting in the back of that group that the second that Trevor hit the front of that, they went backwards very fast.
Yeah, they weren't on those. Robert and Christian, all due respect, weren't on a day that they're necessarily known for. They weren't firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. So you think if Trevor rode more conservatively and came off the bike with a 6 to 7 minute deficit, he's running to victory?
I disagree with Talbot there. I think he should have done what he did on the bike, close it as quick as possible.
Especially with the rain, you don't know what's going to happen. The gap ballooned in the second lap for a lot of people.
But I love Trevor, but I think in his head he wanted to do his own Manuel Messias today. He wanted to go sub 230 to say he went sub 230, and it cost him the dub.
I don't think so. I think he knew that that's not possible on that course. It'll never be possible on that course.
Well, he went out at 74.
We'll see what happens.
Trevor
I think that this was a dress rehearsal for what could happen in Nice. I think Trevor was trying to prove that he can make up that deficit on a swim with some front pack people.
Well, he definitely didn't prove that because he imploded at mile 17 and had 7 minutes put into him on the run by, I mean, no offense against Matthew Marquardt, is the front runners at the front of a world championship are light years, are biking that fast, or sorry, not that fast, biking a lot faster at the front and running way faster.
Christian Hogenhog just went toe-to-toe with Christian Blumenfeld 2.5 weeks ago, and Trevor finished a minute behind him. I kind of disagree with that.
I would say there was a lot of moto assistance or lead vehicle assistance in that, but yeah, I mean, we'll see on race day. We'll see on race day.
Should we move on to the women's race, or is there something else you guys want to chat about the men's race?
I think that Jason West, great result. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see Ari Clow, what I think a lot of people were wanting to see. I think that he's been working with Jack Kelly for a while. His Ironman debut, I don't think he had the day he wanted, which was a bummer. Love Ari. Braden Curry.
Missed out on a knee slot.
Missed out on a knee slot.
3 minutes.
It's
tough.
Crazy to see. We won't see the likes of Braden Curry. Leiferman, Hansen, both other athletes. It's a lot of athletes are banged up right now towards the end of the season. So, yeah.
You kind of want to be fresher going into championship season.
I don't know. Yeah. I think the sport's just evolved too. All right, let's run to the women's.
Women's race was exciting. You had someone win the race, Solveig Losef, that was further down on the swim and the bike than she wanted to be and was able to run her way to victory. I think that that's mission accomplished for her. She had her amazing Ironman debut at Hamburg a couple months ago, and then for her to win here, puts her in a good spot for the Pro Series. The swim was led out by Rebecca Clark, followed closely behind by Holly Lawrence. There was some jockeying on the bike that happened with Lisa Purtier and Marta Sanchez, and unfortunately a back of the field pro male got in the way, and Lisa ended up getting a bike penalty from that drafting penalty.
I'm sorry. I got to double click on this for a minute. That official should know better.
I mean, they should have just told him to get out of the way.
Get out of the race.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the wrong call. That's the wrong way to handle that, in my opinion. It just shouldn't. It just when specifically when a female is catching a pro male in that, there needs to be some sort of neutralizing of that athlete that's being caught, because that's I don't. It's just completely asinine to me.
You just got to blue flag him like they do in Formula One.
Yeah, 100%.
So Lisa did great to bounce back from that. Ended up catching Marta Sanchez on the bike, and then led the run till about 10K to go, and then was caught by Solveig to finish out the race. So all in all, Lisa Purtier finished second place. I would say pretty amazing season so far for her. To be able to race as well as she did at the T100, and then now is racing super, super well over the Ironman distance. Like she could be a threat for some races to come. Marta Sanchez finished the race 3rd place. Fastest run split of the day for the women was 4th place. Tamara Jewett with a 2:40, and then Holly Lawrence top 5, which is what we said in the podcast earlier this week.
I just look at this and you go, I got a few thoughts. This is probably the distance that we'll see Tamara Jewett sit with and stick with now. Seems to work pretty well for her. Does Solveig Lofseth all of a sudden creep into this group of 5 women for the heavy hitters that we'll see in Kona?
Yeah, I think so.
And then let's not sleep on or forget about Lisa Perderer.
Yeah, because she's really good in the heat.
Really good in the heat. And so all of a sudden, I just think I'm not putting her down for a dub in Kona, but a few people go away because they're injured beforehand. A few people have a bad day. That's one that could get put on there for a very sneaky 3rd place, in my opinion. A sneaky podium there.
Yeah.
But I think Solveig today demonstrated that she's got a massive amount of discipline for this distance. And I think that these 2 performances, frankly, from Solveig and Lisa were, I think, pretty clear shots for the future, and the future being as soon as October, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I would second that. I mean, first off, she has to be on cloud 9. I mean, you kind of grow up as a majority of the athletes that grow up into the sport, their dream one day is to win an Ironman, the goal at least. And she checked that today, her first ever long distance Ironman win, which is awesome for her. I know she came just shy of that in Hamburg, but to get a W today sets her up. As we've mentioned on the Forbes show, Gustav Eden's brother, McCall Eden, coaches a lot of these athletes, has done a phenomenal job with her, also the coach of Rudy Von Berg. And if there's anyone that knows how to prep for the World Championships in Kona, it's an Eden. So I would say she's definitely going to be a threat. Also, too, as we've mentioned, these races, the female field, the depth of field is not as much there in these kind of races as much as it is in the in a men's race, because there's a lot more guys in that pack and all that. And that's what makes the World Championship so different, is you have all the best female athletes in the world are all there, and that race behaves so differently. And I think that will play into someone like Solveig's strengths. And then that also hurts someone like Laura Phillip usually because there's a lot of pack dynamics and all that at the front of the race. So, yeah.
No, Talbot. It's a completely fair point that the World Championships will race different in a way that the women haven't seen. Tactically, it's a very different environment. It's been dang near 20 years since we've seen a windy Kona. We just haven't seen one yet for a very long time. So I'm not holding my breath that we're going to get one this year either, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any, can I just do a couple?
Soapbox? You going on a soapbox?
I want to hop on a soapbox for a minute. Can we please get this issue resolved of athletes being terrified of people following them?
I mean,
Matthew Marquardt having to wave off somebody today because he doesn't want to get a penalty. There needs to be a statement. There needs to be a statement made by Ironman on this for some clarification, because it's not fair. And so something needs to happen there.
I posted a story on my Instagram about it. A majority of the people that replied to it were all professional athletes. It just said how stupid this rule was. I mean, how often do you see this in a major marathon when someone's trying to run next to Kipchoge for 500 meters to say one day, I ran next to Kipchoge for 500 meters. It was the coolest experience of my life.
You see it at all the bike races too. You'll see some 12-year-old kid in the sidewalk or bike lane next to the race that's going by, and they're trying to keep up with them, right?
Yeah.
It's
one thing when you have a coach who's on a bike bunny hopping and he's riding next to an athlete on a bike coaching them.
See, and I'm going to press in a little bit here. Ironman already knows who the representatives are because we already get emails from them reminding them that we're on the same code of conduct as the athletes. So that list is already there and exists. So it's just, again, I'm not going back and harping on the rules. The rules can be separate, but this is one that can be dealt with immediately. And I just have no faith that it will be dealt with in any form or fashion.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean, it's one thing when Tade's riding up in the Tour de France and a fan's too close to them and he's like, get back. But it's another thing when someone's running on a public sidewalk. This is a public sidewalk running. And Matthew, I mean, this guy's 10 feet away from Marquardt, 15 feet away, but he's having to, in his race, look over and tell him to stop running because Matthew Marquardt is that scared of getting an outside assistance penalty.
Sorry. So what I would do right now, if I was Sam Renouf, I would encourage this behavior at his races, right? I would say, hey, we want you to run with the we want you. Send us your videos. We're going to post
that opens up a whole big can of worms, Pat.
No, fans. Hey, we want.
Don't get on. And Pat's not saying get on the race course. He's saying when you're in the grass,
run next to him.
What about if you're a coach or like me? That's just a fan.
No. He's saying no. They have a list of representatives of the athletes. They know who the coaches are. They know who the agents are. That's the list.
But they don't know who the family members are. They don't know who.
Doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares?
So what you're saying is, Kyle, like everyone on bikes in New Zealand riding next to Hayden Wild cheering him on. Hayden should have gotten a couple hundred penalties, right? He should have finished a couple hours down.
I'm not defending it.
I know. I'm just saying that's how stupid this is.
You can't do it whenever you open it up and say that this is a rule. We either need to remove it from the rules entirely, or what are we doing?
No, they just need to say athletes listed representatives have to be fixed to the ground when they're supporting an athlete with information. Period. And we can't
even get a list of rules for what water bottles are allowed to be used in races.
No, but they're handing out penalties for it. So here's the thing. What if old Sally Sue has, her cousin that says, okay, hey, secretly I'm going to give you information. What is she going to do now knowing that she's got a 630 deficit instead of a 620? Like, what are we actually talking about here? It's just not that big of a deal. You can't have an athlete waving off random supporters in the middle of the broadcast because they are terrified of getting a penalty. It's what I said 2 weeks ago. The athletes are terrified of getting a random penalty because the officials don't know who they're reprimanding.
Let me just build a scenario too. And I know this seems insane, but this is almost where you're getting to. Okay. Let's just say in a complete hypothetical situation, you got Christian Blumenfeld, who's running down Sam Laidlow at the Nice Ironman World Championships. And it's looking like he's not going to catch him by at least a minute. This is going to cost Christian Blumenfeld, let's just say a good $500,000. What would stop someone like me running up to Sam Laidlow being like, he's coming. He's 40 seconds down. Here, do you want a gel? Trying to hand him something. And then the official says, 1 minute stand down penalty. Christian goes by, wins the Ironman world title. Like that's if you don't set the precedent now, that's the stage you're getting into because it's whatever to fans running. It's that you can then go get the other professional athletes in trouble for it. You can use it to your advantage. And people will do that. People are crazy.
Christian Hogenhaug got a penalty because somebody that had no relation to him gave him information.
There's conflicting reports because there's
Well, then,
someone else
here's the
that
thing,
said
here's the
his
thing.
coach did it.
Okay,
as
but
well.
then Ironman should say that. They can
Yeah.
give a report on the rules. How hard is that? The problem is they don't have any information of that. They don't have that. So that's the issue. And then the other issue now, that we're not helping with is anytime that we say this, now Ironman doesn't want to concede and make it look like the people that were promoting this were right.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we're in a little bit of a delicate place here, but this is the problem.
What do you guys think about water bottles dropping on the courses too and not getting penalties for those?
I don't. Let's not make this a rules podcast. I wanted to make this purely just to the thing that happened to Marquardt today, and remind Ironman that athletes are completely terrified of this, and there's been no communication on how it's going to be dealt with moving forward.
Yeah, because technically Marquardt could have an unintentional littering for dropping a water bottle. So we just need to make clear what rules are actually rules.
Didn't Bradley Weiss get one of those, or someone got one of those at a pretty big race recently? I mean, now that I think about it, I might go to both world championships and try to put an extra $100K in my pocket. Whoever's in second place, be like, "How much we talking? If I get the guy in front of you some penalties, how much we talking? How much we talking? I'll get on this bike right now and I'll get them at least 2 2-minute penalties, 1-minute penalties.
Yeah, you should.
You're in the race." Hey, what would I care? People be pissed at me. I put 100K in my pocket. You think I care what people think about me?
Yeah, agree.
All right, let's land the plane. Lake Placid. What do you guys think? What do you give the race? A, B, C? Chapeau of the race.
A all the way. A all the way.
Great, pretty much end of the series. This puts the period on it. We're getting ready for World Championship. This is a fantastic race for those athletes that just need to punch their last-second tickets for qualification, that maybe had an injury earlier in the year and are still needing to get to the World Championships. Phenomenal. This could have been a sleeper, and it wasn't.
There's 2 races left for the men, 4 slots left for Ironman World Championship, and these technically 5, I guess, if Laidlow secures his validation next week at Ironman Leeds. And so as we start getting into the thick of championship season, this is going to be the place you want to listen to how things are kind of shaping up. So you guys excited for any of the races happening next week? Ironman Leeds, you got Sam Laidlow trying to get his slot for the World Championship, going up against Kieran Linders, Harry Palmer in his debut. It's pretty much about it. It's one of the hardest Ironman courses in the circuit.
Yeah, look, Sam just needs to finish that one. There's a reason that we're going to take next week off. And so we're super thrilled that everyone's racing. We support them, but we're just not going to do a podcast about it because we need a quick little recharge before championship season fires up. So no, we're stoked. We're just not going to do a dedicated weekend show to it. So I think it's really important to thank all of our listeners, all the feedback that we've had. Thank you so much. I'd say we're really only halfway through the season because there is so much on the back end with the T100 stuff that's coming. And all, and the 3 Ironman World Championships that are yet to drop. So we need a little recharge. We're going to take it, and we hope everyone has a bunch of great and happy training in the meantime.
2 other big races this weekend, 70.3 Boise, and then Super Tri Toronto. If you're wanting to watch some triathlons next weekend, Super Tri Toronto will be the place for you. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks.